Hello, everyone. Welcome to Up to Speed. Happy Friday. We made it. I am Diana Alvear, and I'm so excited because we have a very special episode today and some truly wonderful guests. Before we get to all of that, though, we are going to recap the week. So Monday, we got you excited about the quarterly earnings announcements. And what we did was we revisited some really great moments from previous quarterlies. Tuesday, we got social and introduced you to the different platforms where you can connect with inside Verizon. And this is where you're going to get all of the news and entertainment you need the way you like it. Wednesday, of course, we had that rockin' third quarter earnings show led by our main man, Hans, and featuring VIP appearances from throughout the country. And yesterday, we heard from some incredibly courageous V-teamers who told us their harrowing stories and about the importance of domestic violence awareness. Okay, so October is packed with important causes to celebrate, and today we are going to focus on National Disability Employment Awareness Month. We are so honored to have with us today two fabulous members of our Advance ERG. Now, for those of you who don't know, Advance stands for Advocates for Disability, Access, Neurodiversity, and Caregiver Empowerment. I would like to welcome Jean Marie Marston. She's the Advanced Membership Chair and a Network Integration Planner, and Weslyn Rollins, Advanced Global Programs and Event Chair and Process Engineer at VBG. So ladies, thank you so much for being live with us today. This is such an important topic to me. We're going to jump right in, and Jean, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you joined Advance.
Thank you, Diana. I'm so excited to be here. As you said, I'm Jean, and my pronouns are she, her, and hers. I'm a middle-aged white brunette wearing a blue shirt with white letters that read, OCD is not an adjective. Like you said, at Verizon, I'm a network planner, and I'm also the Membership and Volunteering Chair of Advance. I myself have generalized anxiety disorder. So as soon as I heard about Advance, I was drawn to the opportunity to join and then eventually to give back on the board. But I was an employee for many, many years before I even knew that anything like this existed. That's why I'm so grateful that opportunities like this exist and that we can spread awareness. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jean. And Weslyn, I want to know all about you. How are you doing today? And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, Diana. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you. Like Jean said, it's really amazing to be on Up to Speed today with you all. As mentioned, my name's Weslyn. I am a Black person with short curly hair, which is covered today by a yellow head wrap. I'm wearing a black t-shirt, sweatshirt with white letters that reads, "It's the protecting my peace part for me," which is one of my favorites. I'm in a room with green and white wallpaper and hanging posters. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. So like you mentioned, I'm the current Programs and Events Chair, and I've always been a part of the ERGs since I started my career in Verizon, and I've just always had an innate desire to be a part of something that I can give back, form connections, and just, use my voice in whatever way that I can to help. So when Dial, which is formerly Advance, was presented to me, I hopped at the opportunity to join. So, but it wasn't until my role 2 years ago on the board that I was able to unlock this sort of missing piece of my identity that propelled me to living as even louder and more radically authentic than I ever did before. So I'm just grateful for our current leads, like Krista. She's one of my biggest supporters in helping me realize my identity as a disabled person, and just all of our members. And like I said, I'm just so excited to be here.
Weslyn, I love how you described what you were wearing and the way that the room looks in which you're in, which is another way of being inclusive. I wanted to point that out for our audience. Weslyn, I'm going to stick with you. So this topic actually is very important to me. My son is on the spectrum, recently diagnosed, and it's one of those invisible disabilities. So for me, I'd love to know how Advance is driving greater disability inclusion across Verizon and how every V-teamer can support this.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's Advance's mission to move beyond just awareness of disabilities to true acceptance, inclusion, empowerment, and equity, right? That's what our real goal is. We envision to transform the world by technology, as we all work for a technology company, to make it more accessible for all. We're constantly driving inclusion by doing spots like this, being on Up to Speed and sharing our stories, showing everyone that disability is not a bad or dirty word, helping to educate folks, because that's our number one, at least for me. Anything that we do, we try to always educate folks on the very wide spectrum on which disability exists. And as a board, we're committed to ensuring that we're inclusive and accessible in events that we host and in which we participate. And like you called out, you heard the example of both Jean and my introduction with a visual description and the room around us, so that people who may not be able to see us not only know what we sound like, but what we look like as well. And this is a really simple way to be more accessible and inclusive overall. And we encourage all V-teamers to adopt this practice in their meetings or even in their personal lives. We're always sharing best practices and other resources and tools. So if you aren't a member already, join Advance and join our Slack channels. It's super active. It's a treasure trove of listening ears, shared experiences, and so much more. We have a very active volunteer community as well, where we partner with organizations that align with our mission. So we have so many great opportunities for people to, even if you don't identify or know anyone, just join, and it's always a learning opportunity. And we also have a Disability 101 toolkit in the Degreed Learning platform, where people can learn about the history of disability as a civil rights movement and why disability representation matters, and just dive deeper into the intersections in which it exists.
I love that. And so I'm going to take a page from you and Jean. I'm wearing a blue patterned shirt, and I'm in the lobby of Basking Ridge headquarters. So lots going on around me. For those of you who can't see it, that is what's happening right here. Okay, so thank you for reminding me that that's a really good practice to have. So Jean, I'm going to turn my focus to you now, and I know that you're so passionate about this. So tell us, what are some of the misconceptions and stigmas about people living with disabilities that you are aiming to address?
Yes, this is Jean. Thank you. I love that question. First, I'll just start by saying it's really difficult to address a stigma that is not commonly acknowledged that even exists. It's still socially acceptable for people with disabilities to be left out of the equity discussion. Disability is rarely included in social justice efforts, despite people with disabilities suffering from low wages, voter disenfranchisement, high levels of police violence, incarceration. Disability still gets left out of these conversations, or it's just not prioritized. We at Advance in July decided it was time to kick off Verizon's first Disability Pride Month, and hopefully everyone received the email that our awesome executive sponsor sent out, Jim Gerace. At the beginning of that email, he quoted one of our sheroes, Judith Heumann, she's a warrior, and some of you may have seen her in the Oscar-nominated film Crip Camp. Her quote is fabulous. It begs the question, when is it going to be unacceptable that people with disabilities don't have a seat at the table? And basically we were inspired to have our theme for that month be Nothing Without Us. And we were pushing for the fact that people with disabilities belong in every room, at every table, included in every single discussion about any decision that impacts them. Hopefully our members are carrying that forward.
I love that. I absolutely agree that they need to be included. The word inclusion to me just needs to be part of the fabric of everyday living. Jean, we want to talk specifically about your family. You sent us this beautiful photo of them. So we're going to look at a photo of them right now. And can you tell us why this photo is so important for all of us to see?
Yes, I'll try to do this without crying. Yes, that is the Marston Five. Within our family of five, 3 of us have invisible illnesses, and the other 2 had developmental delays. We also had a 6th member of the family, our daughter, that we lost in utero midterm due to a chromosomal disorder. And believe me, not a day goes by that I don't wish that I could have raised that child, no matter, how hard that would have been. So, and the big guy there, my husband, he's a disabled veteran. He was in the Air Force for 27 years. So obviously it's no secret why I'm so emotional about this topic. Thank you.
Of course. I mean, I feel all the love that you have for your family and all the fighting spirit that you have for your family, Jean. Wesleyan, let's talk a little bit about the importance of intersectionality, another word I love. Maybe I just love a lot of words that start with I because they're so powerful, right? That we are a composite of many identities and experiences. So why do you think it's so important that when we talk about disability, we also talk about race?
Yeah, this is Wesleyan. So this is something that I never get tired of talking about, Diana, which I think we share that, right? As a Black, disabled, immigrant woman, I exist on a wide array of intersections. I am a multiply marginalized person, and that's how I move throughout the world. Although it may not seem like it, within some of those facets of my identity, I possess certain privileges, which I love to always call out. But I seemingly move through the world without some of the stigma that Jean mentioned that is often placed on disabled people. My disabilities are invisible, like I think I mentioned at the beginning. I don't exactly fit the very fine and unfortunate view that society has of disability. I, however, will never be able to, not that I want to at all, hide my rich brown melanated complexion. The world saw last year its civil rights issues dominate the headlines, and more people realize what most already knew, that things needed to change. So 50% of people killed by law enforcement are disabled. Sandra Bland, Corinne Gaines, Tamir Rice, Natasha McKenna, Eric Garner, and of course, George Floyd last year, and so many more were all disabled victims of state violence. And more than half of Black disabled people would have been arrested by the time they turned 28. That's double the risk in comparison to their white counterparts. So for this and many other reasons, I think it's extremely important that we talk about the intersections of race and disability, because racism and ableism go hand in hand, unfortunately, and is the thread that has been woven throughout, not only this country, but the world for a really long time. So when we start to really, truly understand and, again, educate ourselves on the role that each of those play, and then we can begin to make notable progress on bringing walls down and, getting everyone a piece of the pie, as it were. So it's not easy, and we continue to do our part every day. And to round out my answer, I'll add, I think this makes sense to add here, my favorite quote by James Baldwin, that not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it's faced. So as we talk about race and disability and the many marginalized intersections with which people exist, I think it's really important that we always call that out.
I love that. That is so powerful. And it starts with this, right? Having these kinds of conversations where we highlight those issues that some people may not be aware of. So, Jean, given that it's National Disability Employment Awareness Month, what are some of the barriers that we have preventing or challenging people with disabilities from fully participating in the workforce? And then how can we infuse greater inclusion in everything that we do, especially at work?
This is Jean. Thank you. I love that question. I think, well, for some of us, the obvious one is, the misperception that we're unproductive or aren't capable, or employers are going to have to put up with bad attendance, or, constantly be making accommodations, that we're basically a headache. It's just not true. There's tons, if you're a data and science person like me, there's tons of research out there that'll tell you that that's not true. But I'll just use myself as an example. So I started with Bell Atlantic in 1997. And until I became a member of Advance, there is no way I would speak about this to you or anyone else at work. it was a very long time before I felt comfortable speaking out about any of this. And I want to shout out all of my amazing past leaders. It had nothing to do with them. Some of them are probably shocked right now to hear what I'm talking about. And most of them would tell you that I pulled it off. They had no idea. And, a person shouldn't really have to do that. I was also an active duty military spouse for almost my whole career, and we moved around several times. My leaders would tell you it was probably like I didn't skip a beat where the work was concerned. And they were all wonderful about all of it. And the problem was my own passed down internalized ableism and what society had taught me about these things. And I am now learning to shed all of that. And I know now that I can bring my authentic self to work. And I know now that it's okay for me to say that I'm not okay. Instead of having to come up with my own hidden accommodations and, knuckle through everything, I don't have to worry about that anymore. And as productive as I was, this probably makes me even more productive, right? So I feel like, one, I can be a good example of the falsehoods, and two, an example of the fact that you don't always know the full story. And just because someone is not reaching out to you to tell you their full story does not mean that other things are not going on that they may need your help with. And on top of all that, when we talk about accessibility, we serve so many different customers and we want to serve everybody, right? So if we don't embrace everyone's differences and, best serve our employees and understand the differences with all of our employees, and including ourselves, then how do we best serve those customers? And I think what's awesome about Verizon right now is we have a workforce that we could pull from to include people in accessibility conversations, testing products, testing services. And if anyone needs any person with disabilities included in any of their projects to do that, contact Advance. We have, as of this morning, 3,200 members that we can reach out to, and they can be a part of, breaking down those barriers, not only for employees, but for our customers. So thank you for that question.
Yeah, I love that. And I think it's so important, as you're saying, for you and Westland to tell your stories. It frees other people to tell their stories as well, to say, hey, I would like accommodations as well. And it normalizes this kind of conversation, this kind of workplace where everybody is included. So I love this conversation. So we're going to wrap it up here. I have one last question for both of you. As y'all know, I'm a storyteller. I'm a big believer in the power of representation. So can you both briefly tell us why it's important for brands to champion the stories and experiences of people with disabilities? And I'm going to have Westland answer first, and I'd love to bring up that second picture that you provided. Westland, can you please speak to this picture and why it relates to this question about having brands include people?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll talk a little bit, just as we mentioned earlier, the theme for our very first Verizon Advanced celebration for Disability Pride Month was Nothing Without Us. And we hold that true for everything. Nothing should be decided for disabled people without one or many of us being in the room, front and center, and at the table. So we see in today's ever-changing times and ever-evolving times that consumers the world over have the ability to give and take back their power from brands in many ways. When we fail to be representative of what the world looks like, we miss out on the immense potential that those who are not represented hold. So Jean and I are just a blip in the vastness of what disability looks like and what disability actually is or isn't, depending on the angle that you want to take on that. And it's my opinion, humble opinion, that we start building things and begin to map the world according to stories and experiences of disabled people, we inherently will make the world better for everyone. So that comic there is by Michael Giangreco with an illustration by Kevin Rule that depicts snow-covered stairs and a ramp with a man shoveling, a group of people waiting in front, and the wheelchair user asks, "Could you please shovel the ramp?" The man answers that other people are waiting for the stairs and he'll shovel the ramp after he's done. To which the wheelchair user replies, "But if you shovel the ramp, we can all get in." And this is probably the best answer to that question, that if we amplify disabled and other multiply marginalized voices, we'll unlock the world of possibilities that they all hold. So, that I think sums it up, Diana.
Thank you, Wesleyan. And Jean, why is it important to you to have brands champion inclusivity?
Wesleyan is a hard act to follow, but I will try. And I second everything that she just said. But and I love that you said that you're a storyteller. One of my favorite storytellers actually is part of the disability community, Maysoon Zaid, and she was part of some of our advanced events this year. And I like to use her quote all the time that the disabled community is one of the only marginalized communities that you may be forced to join at any time in your life. No one is exempt. And so I feel like brands just need to start accepting that the future is, that this is a common knowledge, that this is acceptable, and that, people aren't necessarily like looking for cures, but acceptance, and that everyone's born with the innate, equality, and all human life is of equal worth and included in everything we do. So, thank you.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, and as a mom, I know I'm a little biased here, but my son just wants to play with other kids. My son just wants to be included in everything. And so I live it every day, like seeing that the power of bringing everyone in, it's just going to make a better world. And Jean and Wesleyan, you both make a better world for us along with everybody in advance. So thank you both for being with us today and telling us your stories. We have all learned so much. We thank you for your hard work here at Verizon. You are creating more visibility, you are creating more awareness, and absolutely appreciation for disability in the workplace. My heart is full right now. Thank you so much to both of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And I want to tell you guys that Hans is doing his part too. So recently he sat down with Swedish filmmaker and director Par Johansson to discuss his latest film called Catwalk. Now, in this documentary, Par follows a group of aspiring models who are living with disabilities and captures their dreams of breaking into the fashion world. And one of the models featured, Emma, also joined Hans and Par to share more about her story and her hopes for the future. You're going to get to see that conversation in just a few minutes. And we have an extra special surprise for VTubers. If you'd like to see the entire documentary, you get to check it out as an exclusive on our Inside Verizon app. So if you don't have that Inside Verizon app, come on, man. What are you waiting for? Download it from the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Once you download it, you can sign in, search for Catwalk, get that popcorn, and enjoy. And again, this is an exclusive. This is just for Verizon employees. What an incredible and generous offer from Par, Emma, and everyone involved in creating this remarkable story. By the way, tomorrow happens to be Make a Difference Day, so this is the perfect opportunity to sign up and support our advanced ERG. Help them drive greater inclusion within Verizon and beyond. You can be part of the solution because, of course, you know this. Together, we can and will move the world forward for all. And with that, I'm going to toss it to Hans. Thank you so much for hanging with me today. I'm Diana Alvear. Please stay safe. Do something nice for someone if you can. And until next time, you're up to speed.
Hello, everyone, and first and foremost, thank you for being with us, Emma and Per. We're going to talk about the movie The Catwalk, which is just a powerful story. And Emma, I'm going to start talking to you a little bit because you are sort of one of the leading actors in this documentary, and it's all about your dream to be in fashion and do the catwalk. So tell me about your dream and how you ended up being part of this fantastic documentary.
This is very magic and very wonderful. I think it's very fun. I be a model in the movie, and I have many friends from the movie. Yeah, very fun.
And Emma, you show a lot of ambitions, and you really wanted this. And how did it all start, and why were you so excited to be on the catwalk?
Yeah, I was very excited on the catwalk, and I was a little nervous.
Little.
Yeah, little nervous, but I think, yeah, this is very fun. I'll be great.
And Emma, how did you learn to know Per? Did you know Per before, or how did it all started?
I write letter to Per because the people was mean to me in the school. So them to see I am a very beautiful people and very fantastic
That's Emma.
girl.
It's a fantastic, fantastic story, Emma. And I know a lot of the determination came from your childhood, where people were mean to you, and now you had the chance to show this. So let me ask Per a couple of questions. So Per, you and I have known each other for I'm not sure how long, since you were a little bit younger than me, because you're younger than me. We were born in the same city, Per, and we're both of us very excited about sports all the way. Before we come into the movie, Per, you have been working with children, adults with disabilities, and the challenges for basically all your adult life. So why have you done that, and when did you start?
I started for 25 years ago. I have a dream to be a football pro, but my dream don't fell in, so I get to work with people with disabilities. When I came at the first meeting with the guys I should work with, I feel this was my place on earth. So I start the theater because I want to make these people shining. I want the people get experience. I want to play the theater for myself. And for our first theater in 1996, for 25 years ago, we should sold 400 tickets. We give away 350 tickets because nobody wants to see. And now we have sold over 500,000 tickets to the last theater. I love to work with people like Emma. They are incredible people, so I love them a lot.
Third movie?
Yeah, the third movie. We have two movies before, but this movie is the smash hit. It's a movie the whole family can see. But I want to say to you, Hans, I want to thank you from whole the Glada Hudik Theater for all your support and love and commitment you have given during this catwalk project and the whole Glada Hudik Theater. You have committed us for 15 years and never come what we is today if you don't have be and support us. So we are so eternal grateful for your support.
Thank you, Per. and to put it in context for our V-teamers, Glada Hudik Teatern, that is the name of it, is extremely famous in Sweden. And Per has been, and his artist has been selling out theaters, musicals, and movies the last 15 years, and brought children, adults with disabilities to be in the forefront. They are in commercials today. They are part of our society. They're getting work. He has breaking down the barriers in many ways, and he has also taken that to export to many countries. But Per, this movie, what did you want to tell? What was the story you want to tell, and what was the things you would like the audience to leave with when they have seen this movie?
When Emma wrote the letter to me and I decided to do this film, I want Emma to be able to put things right. Every person deserves their place in the society. Emma and her friends make sure I live my life at the top volume every day. They taught me that you should never be anything other than yourself. And then you should never stop believing in people's ambitions to develop.
So there were two challenges here, and I'm going to ask you the same question. First of all, you decided to be part of the fashion industry, which is one challenge. The other challenge, and I will not give away the whole movie, but of course, it's about New York. You also brought your actors to New York. So I start with you, Emma. It was the fashion industry and New York. What was exciting with this documentary to come to the US and do all of this?
It's my favorite in the documentary. It was when I going on a catwalk. It was very best.
When you walked the catwalk, Emma, you met an idol, I think, from a TV program.
Yeah, it was Miss Alexander J from America's Next Top Model. I have a pink big dress, and I doing.
Bye.
On Miss Alexander J, and he doing back. Oh yeah.
Fantastic, Emma.
Yeah. And I think he is sitting there. Oh my God! This is Alexander J.
That was a great moment, Emma, and I understand the excitement. Per, fashion industry, you brought the whole crew of your best friends over to the US, New York, to make the movie. What was the challenge? I remember you called me a couple of times. There were some challenges over the time.
Yeah, it was a big help, but the hardest thing was to find the premises in New York during the Fashion Week. I'm not so good in English. I try to do my best, but when we go to New York and we're standing with the embassy, United States Embassy in Stockholm, and we should go in two and get an interview, I was so nervous. And I standing by Ida. She had Down syndrome. She's one of the lovely characters in the movie. And I say to her, Ida, I'm so nervous. Per, be calm. I'm really good in English. You can lean on me. Can you say an English word? I say to Ida. She said, "Ich liebe dich."
Yeah.
After all this, of course, you're a celebrity in Sweden and all of that. What are your ambitions? What are you doing right now? And what are your plans for the future?
I will start my clothes collection. 80s clothes, necklace and earrings on the 80s.
That's a fantastic idea about your plans, how you move forward and all of that. And Per, if I talk to you then, you have been on to this for 25 years or 20 years, and you have done your movies. Where do you take catwalk and all this movement to change the perception in our society and see that everybody's included wherever they come from and whatever they're doing and whatever disability they have? How do you take this forward now, Per?
We're going to do a lot of things. We want to do a worldwide tour with show the catwalk movie and do the catwalk live. So I have a big dream to come back to New York in the United States again, and we want to go to 10 fashion weeks in the world and spread this. And we work also with the schools. So we have a project in Sweden who called Catwalk in Schools. That's 100,000 students to see the movie and work with these questions. And now already we have worked with the project in 8 months, and now we have already 78,000 students in the project. It's so amazing, and I think the catwalk journey is at the start yet. So we're going to fly to a lot of countries, and we should do a lot of works to change. I want Emma and she's friends to be a natural part of society, and so they can be a part of this wonderful world that I want to change this.
Per and Emma, Thank you so much for taking the team to talk to the V-teamers. The V-teamers is the employees of Verizon. We are some 120,000 of us, and you have granted us the exclusivity to see this movie. And the employees of Verizon will have the chance to do this. And as I usually tell all my employees that they should share at home with their families what is happening in our office. This is a great opportunity to see this documentary with the family, share the views of the importance of inclusion, belonging, diversity in our society, because that's core values for our company. And also, just for you to know, we have a resource group that is called Advance, which is a group of employees that has disabilities and that actually promotes internally, help us with thinking about what products we need to have for people with disabilities, but also seeing that we have a workplace. So if the V-teamers want to join the Advance, they can do that as well and have the conversation going on. But for us, it's just an important moment to have both of you here and that you tell the story and how you bring forward inclusion and diversity, no matter what challenges you might have. And we all have our challenges, as Per usually says. So I would like to end with that. And Emma, good luck with the fashion line you're coming up with. And Per, continue your fantastic work to see that disability is shown as a normality in our society and everybody's included. So thank you very much, guys.